It was supposed to be the interview of the decade. Picture it. A perfect California garden, sunshine spilling across the flowers, birds singing in the background, and Meghan Markle and Prince Harry seated across from none other than Oprah Winfrey herself. Millions tuned in, believing they were about to witness raw truth, the kind of truth that could shake the foundations of the British crown. But let me tell you, while the world was glued to the carefully framed shots on camera, whispers say something shocking was happening just out of sight. According to chatter behind the scenes, even Oprah's own production crew couldn't ignore it. They whispered among themselves, their eyes darting toward Meghan's belly. "It didn't look quite right," they allegedly muttered. Strange shifting movements beneath her clothes, movements that didn't align with what a natural pregnancy should look like. And then, silence. Suddenly, the crew was bound by non-disclosure agreements, gagged from ever revealing what they'd seen. Even Oprah, the queen of asking what no one else dares, reportedly wanted to probe. She leaned in, ready to raise the question. But Meghan shut her down instantly. Not the right time, she supposedly insisted. And just like that, the moment passed. The cameras rolled on, the conversation shifted, and what could have been the question of the century, the one that might have changed everything, was left hanging in the California air. Now here's the thing, this wasn't the first time Meghan's pregnancy had sparked whispers. From the very beginning, skeptics pointed out that her baby bump looked different. Some photos showed angles where her stomach appeared oddly square. Videos captured moments where the bump seemed to fold or move unnaturally when she crouched. And soon, a term was being whispered everywhere, the moon bump. The allegation was scandalous but chillingly simple. Meghan wasn't carrying her own child. She was allegedly using a surrogate and a prosthetic belly as cover. What should have been the most private, intimate journey into motherhood turned into a battlefield of rumors. Every photograph was treated as evidence. Every public appearance felt like a trial. And yet, despite all the whispers, nothing was ever proven. No damning documents, no leaked confessions, nothing but suspicion. But here's where it gets juicy. The official record is neat and tidy. Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor was born on May 6, 2019 at 5:26 in the morning. Portland Hospital, London. Certificate signed, sealed, delivered. The baby exists, the paperwork exists. Yet the whispers? They only grew louder. Because hours before the palace even announced Archie's birth, they had told the press something bizarre. Meghan was still in labor. Reporters rushed to cover the event only to discover Archie had already been born. A tiny misstep in communication, perhaps. But in a world where every single detail is under the microscope, it poured gasoline on the fire. If the palace was willing to bend the timeline, people asked, what else could they be hiding? And just like that, the moon bump rumor sprouted deeper roots. Official documents said one thing, but the palace's cautious, inconsistent storytelling left cracks. Cracks where doubt could slither in and grow. And when doubt infects royal tradition, it doesn't fade quietly. Oh no, it becomes a roar. For generations, royal mothers followed a strict tradition, walking out of the hospital doors mere hours after giving birth. Princess Diana did it with William and Harry. Kate Middleton did it with George, Charlotte, and Louis. Hair done, heels on, baby swaddled. The world cheered and Britain sighed with relief at the continuation of the monarchy. But Meghan and Harry broke that tradition. They didn't stand on those iconic hospital steps with Archie. Instead, they orchestrated a private introduction inside Windsor Castle. It was quiet, controlled, to some dignified. To others, it reeked of a cover-up. And just when people thought they'd seen enough, another twist arrived. At one point, Meghan's given names were removed from Archie's birth certificate. A simple bureaucratic change, the palace insisted. But tabloids pounced. Why would a mother's name suddenly vanish from her own child's record? For critics already primed to suspect Meghan, it wasn't a formality, it was fuel. A glaring red flag that something wasn't right. Every broken tradition, every small inconsistency became another crack in the wall of trust. And when people are already whispering about prosthetic bumps, discarded surrogates, and cover-ups, cracks don't just stay cracks, they spread. And then came the thunderclap moment in the Oprah interview, the revelation that left even Oprah herself stunned. Meghan confessed that during her pregnancy, there were conversations within the royal family about how dark Archie's skin might be. Oprah's eyes widened. What? Who is having that conversation with you? She pressed. Meghan refused to name names. Too damaging, she said. That single claim transformed the interview into something bigger than family drama. It became a story about race and royal prejudice. Within 24 hours, Oprah clarified that Meghan had assured her the Queen and Prince Philip weren't involved. Days later, Buckingham Palace issued a statement. The issues raised, particularly that of race, are concerning. While some recollections may vary, they are taken very seriously and will be addressed by the family privately. And there it was. That infamous line, "Some recollections may vary," a polite but pointed suggestion that Meghan's truth wasn't the only truth. And just like that, the palace's denial created yet another crack. If Meghan's explosive claim about racism was now being quietly disputed, what else might be up for debate? And for those already doubting her pregnancy story, this was like striking a match in a room full of gasoline. Fast forward 2 years later, and the contradictions only grew louder. January 2023. Prince Harry was on a whirlwind promotional tour for his memoir, Spare. Interviews everywhere. Tom Bradby on ITV, CBS in the States, and then came the moment that made jaws drop across the world. Harry insisted, "I never said my family were racist." Wait, what? People couldn't believe their ears. Hadn't Meghan's Oprah interview been one long shadow of racial prejudice? Now Harry was reframing it. According to him, the infamous discussion about Archie's skin tone wasn't racism at all, but rather unconscious bias. Bias, unintentional, a chance to learn. That softer spin might have been his attempt to calm the waters, but oh, did it backfire. Broadcasters pressed him immediately. If it wasn't racism, why didn't he clarify that back in 2021? Why let the royal family carry the label of racist for 2 whole years, only to suddenly shift the narrative? Critics pounced, accusing him of moving the goalposts. Others wondered, was Meghan exaggerating back then? Or was Harry rewriting the script now to protect the very family he and Meghan had once condemned? Either way, the once clean Oprah bombshell now looked messy, contradictory, and incomplete. And for those already doubting Meghan's honesty about her pregnancy, this reversal wasn't just suspicious. It was a gift. What should have been remembered as a dazzling celebration of motherhood became yet another cloud of suspicion. To critics, the baby shower wasn't proof of joy. It was proof of theater. And the whispers didn't stay in Manhattan. They followed Meghan right back to Frogmore Cottage. According to rumors, aides stumbled upon something jaw-dropping. Discarded prosthetic bumps left lying around. The imagery alone was scandal enough. Imagine it. Pregnancy bellies tossed aside like costumes on the floor of a royal residence. Of course, there were no photos, no evidence, just gossip amplified and retold. But in the royal world, appearances are everything, and sometimes whispers alone are enough to poison the truth. Each story piled on top of the last. The baby shower bump, the Frogmore discarded bellies, the suspicious footage, each one unverified, each one unproven, but each feeding the same dangerous question. If Meghan's pregnancy story was simple and straightforward, why did it always look so complicated? January 2019. Meghan steps out for a royal engagement at the Mayhew Animal Charity in London. She's in heels, dressed chic as ever, bending down to greet a pack of excited dogs. For the casual viewer, it's a sweet, wholesome moment, but for critics, oh, it was Exhibit A. As Meghan crouched, the cameras caught something odd. Her belly seemed to fold, to shift unnaturally, almost as if it wasn't part of her body at all. Some even swore they heard a faint snapping sound, like something sliding back into place. The footage is real, the event was public, but the interpretation, that's where the battlefield opened up. Was it just fabric tugging under pressure? Was it the natural movement of a growing baby bump? Or was it something else? The whispers grew stronger. She's wearing a fake belly. And once again, truth and rumor blurred into one another, because that's the cruel thing about perception. Once a shadow of doubt is cast, every move is scrutinized through that lens. And then we circle back to Oprah's interview, the silence that spoke louder than any words. Oprah, of all people, the woman who made a career out of asking what others feared, never touched the moon bump question. Meghan never addressed it directly either. The palace, they hid behind vague lines like, "Some recollections may vary." And Harry, he only added to the confusion years later by shifting his story on race. So here we are, years down the line. The official documents are clear. Archie was born at Portland Hospital in London. Lilibet was born in Santa Barbara. Both children are alive, healthy, and very much real. Proof of motherhood, proof of family. Motherhood. But here's the problem. Documents don't fuel legends. Silence does. The moon bump rumor thrives not in evidence, but in the spaces between. The question Oprah didn't ask. The rumors never clarified. The inconsistencies and contradictions that created just enough room for doubt to grow. And in the royal world, once perception is broken, repairing it is almost impossible. Because history shows us something chilling. What echoes the loudest in the monarchy are not always the statements made, but the silences left behind. And Meghan's silence, Oprah's silence, the palace's silence, they've kept this fire alive. That's why, even years later, the whispers remain, not because of what can be proved, but because of what was never addressed. The moon bump story stopped being about Meghan a long time ago. Now it's about secrecy, about silence, about the shadows that follow power wherever it goes. And until that silence breaks, the world will keep waiting. Waiting for the day when someone finally asks the forbidden question out loud. Waiting for the moment when the truth, whatever it is, steps out of the California sunshine and into the open. Because gossip has one golden rule: it doesn't die in the dark, it grows there. And this rumor, it has grown into one of the loudest scandals of the modern monarchy.